4 SCVs repairing it and not able to, and still Jangbi has not expanded, I don't believe now. So this is really, if he doesn't do a lot of damage here, he's going to fall really behind in this game. He hasn't really been able to do too much economic damage. Another Reaver walking out. He has 2 Reavers now. He's going to have to do something with these 2 Reavers in the shuttle, or the game's going to really slip away from it. It looks like a probe in the bottom right. I think he's lining up for an expansion, but Fantasy already has his expansion up and running, so really he has to do something with it. He gets 1 shot off killing about 2 Marines, but he's got to get that tank count lower so he can really harass those SCVs. Dropping 2 Reavers right now, taking a lot of shots. I think 1 got picked off, but he is able to pick off the tank, and the goons have to back off. Fantasy's defending really well right now for limited turrets. That 1 tank at the natural, honestly. That was a ridiculous. He had about 4 SCVs repairing it. The thing would just not go down, and you could tell. They showed Jangbi's face after, because you could tell that was a huge point, because if he would have got that, he could have done a lot of damage. Now he's going to have to try to wrap around against the wall at the 3 o'clock position, come up towards the 1 o'clock position, where he's going to be able to attack, maybe on the back wall behind the minerals. But it looks like there is a tank. He's dropping goons on the high ground now. Will those be able to range the turret? It looks like the Reaver is being dropped in the back, but the SCVs moved way too quickly. Another dud here. It's just going to get a shot on the command center, but he is going to be able to get a couple hits off on that turret, picks off the turret, so now the back ledge is a place for attack, but with the tank in line, he's actually able to lose. If he loses that goon, microing the goon to the back, he's going to pick it up, but still hasn't been able to utilize any damage. He's been able to pick off a turret or 2, but a turret doesn't really hurt the economy in any way, shape, or form here. So another turret going up with some mines. Fantasy's defense has been so far pretty spectacular against these 2 Reavers, which you thought would do much more damage. Obviously, spotting it does help. He was able to, get the engineering bay and get at least 1 turret up in the base that I don't think he would have had at the time, because noted that Jangbi did not expand. He finally has expanded, but we're about 10 minutes into the game, and the Protoss is getting his natural expansion against a Terran that already has his natural expansion. Not a good place to be. Moving in with some Dragoons for a last-ditch effort. Almost loses a lot of goons to the mine. Vultures do slips through. We're going to see a lot of attack going down. Now, Jangbi has decided he's got to double expand, but with these Vultures roaming the map, this is going to be bad news. He has no sign of cannon so far, but the Vulture coming in. Fantasy has seen the 3rd expansion coming up. He's going to be able to harass this. He only has 1 more hit on that Vulture. Goons are going to have to get somewhere. He is laying mines, so Jangbi's got to be very careful to not run a goon in there and lose a lot of probes. Probes coming off to kill that Vulture. That is not a good situation for Jangbi, and you can probably see that Fantasy's going to pump a lot more Vultures. He knows he's winning economically until these 3 bases are fully utilized by Jangbi. Only then can he begin to come back economically. But we still have only that 1 robotics facility. He wanted to win this game so much quicker right now, and it hasn't. Fantasy's defense has been a little flash-like. Very strong defense right now. Reaver's getting a couple shots off on the tank, able to pick off that tank, pick off the SCV, so that other tank possibly could go down. A nice Reaver micro so far from Jangbi, but he really hasn't been able to hit the SCVs, hit the core of the Terran economy here. And we have the 3rd command center floating in. Few SCVs mining. Jangbi's going to take a couple pot shots at this command center until Fantasy gets those tanks lined up and in siege mode. It looks like he's going to go for it. He picks off 1 tank, micros back, only losing about 1 goon. Well worth it. Jangbi playing super aggressive. He knows he must. If he goes on the defensive for just a second, the game will be over. He has nothing to hold what he has right now. He's just requiring Fantasy to be at 3 bases, which is very hard with these ridges, and very hard considering how slow the Terran army does move. Picking him up, getting a couple more shots at the command center. The command center requiring some attention, but still no gas at the natural going up yet. You can see the goon production has really been limited with the production of these Reavers. He's probably going to have to force out a lot of Zealots. He's just not going to have the gas right now. Taking a couple more shots at those Vultures. Tanks coming in. The Observer barely sneaks by. Interesting to see what the factory count of Fantasy is. It's still quite low, but now off of 3 bases, he's going to be able to macro up. And now Jangbi's taking a 4th base. He honestly has 2 Reavers and 6 goons. and he is taking a fourth base. Citadel completing. Templar Archives will come up soon, which will mean storms. But without the gas, he's not really going to be able to provide anything with anything that needs all this gas. And the Reaver and the Vultures have now got on the robotics facility. If he loses this robo, he's going to lose all the production of the Reavers, which have really kept him, at least he's been able to stay on the offensive. Hasn't been able to utilize them completely as much as he wanted to. But a couple mines going down. Fantasy able to just put a couple shots on it, but really can't risk it too much because he knows without those, he's not really going to be able to hold his front door at the moment. We do have, looks like a line of Vultures coming down from the left side, going to wrap around, and the second, third, and fourth base of Fantasy could be under, or for Jangbi could be under emphasis right here, under a lot of attack from these vultures. A lot of harassment is about to take place. He does have proper defense at his fourth, but I don't think his third or second is cannon up, and vultures kill probes very, very fast, and more vultures going on the way. You can see Fantasy's emphasis is just to harass, pumping a lot of vultures, using the tanks on defense, and he's just able to destroy Jangbi's economy. He will move on. Really, Jangbi's economy is still not great. He is off. He's fourth base, finally warping in, but you can see the probe saturation. I think he's finally began to mine gas at his natural. I haven't got to look at it quite yet, but now more. Oh, the probes transferring to the fourth get hit. Probes that Jangbi cannot afford to lose, and finally cleaning up those vultures. But after losing about 4 or 5 probes, which is quite big, considering Jangbi's economy. Another vulture coming in trying to roam, and 2 more vultures coming in. They're do sneak through, and they're going to be able to get right on the main base, laying a mine. He's got to be careful, doesn't want to lose more to the mines. Already lost some to the mines. Here he goes to the back door, able to pick off about 1 or 2 more probes here, and now he's going to be able to micro this around that one zealot there. He's going to have to get those goons back there to clean it up. More vultures coming across. He has left the reavers in the middle of the map now, and you can see just amounts and amounts and amounts, just marches of vultures across the map trying to kill as many probes as possible, and he knows if he can do that. You can see no cannon protection. Jangbi just doesn't have the extra minerals right now. Finally trying to get the arbiters up, but without the, he got his natural gas way too late. I don't think he's really going to be able to afford these arbiters, and you can see Fantasy is in a really good situation right now. Really, the choice is his. He beat his opponent to his natural about a good 2 or 3 minutes before, and he beat his opponent to his third about 2 minutes before, and out of the fourth. But now he has lost so many probes, he's not even able to utilize or fully utilize the 4 expansions that he does have, and you can finally trying to make a push across the map. I think he realizes that this game is slipping away, or already has slipped away, making a little attack, a march across the thing. I don't even think he has high temperatures or storm, but he still does have those 2 reavers. Maybe if he can micro this perfectly. His army's got a little bigger recently. He does have a couple groups of goons and a couple groups of zealots, probably speed upgrade. They are speed upgraded and probably +1 right now. I haven't got to look at the upgrades quite yet. Vultures, here he goes. His fourth is under havoc though, killing a lot of probes, killing every single probe at the main base. Jangbi went out for attack. Fantasy slipped in with vultures. Very well done. Fantasy knows that his macro is too good for Jangbi's right now, and at this time he's going to make an attack across the map. He has so many tanks. Jangbi is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Fantasy's going to move on and play. He's won 2. Can he win 2 more? Will Jangbi's best bud Stork go down to Fantasy as well? He actually lost a reaver now, so really now he really has nothing. Fantasy with more tanks than Jangbi does have in total army number. Absolutely getting destroyed right now. More probes going down. I expected one desperate 1A, 2A from Jangbi here before the GG. You can see him attacking. He loses the shuttle. Doesn't even fully get them all dropped out. Not able to drop on the other ones. The Dragoons coming in, but only pure Dragoons left, and he's going to lose it to all these tanks. Expect GG. Fantasy is going to move on to Game 6. And if Jangbi could be, I don't know who they'll send out next. If it is Stork, I think that's going to be a hard task. Stork's PVT, a little more experienced, a little better. But Jangbi statistically is about the same. But it's always fun to watch Stork play PVT. So hopefully we do see Stork come out next. And I think that is Samsung Khan's best way to avoid an ace match. So hope you guys enjoyed. That's all I got. Look forward to Game 6. Sunday signing out. Thanks. Bye.
오히려 테란 선수들이 그런 진짜 토스 선수를 바탕으로 프로토스를 때려잡기 위해서 진짜 강도 높고 이렇게 훈련을 한 것 마냥 야, 진짜 양 팀의 테란 선수들이 분발이 장난이 아닙니다. 그리고 진짜 멀리서 오신 분들 마지막